No puedes jugar boxeo es presentado por J&E, tu mejor opción para toda remodelación en Las Vegas, Nevada. 702-994-1924. Ponte tu Seller, los mejores guantes orgullosamente mexicanos, desde 1930 vistiendo los puños de los campeones y ahora disponibles para ti en sellersports.com. Ponte tu Seller. Richard, first of all, it's a pleasure for me to talk with you. Thanks for your time. You know, I have been covering boxing like since 30 years ago, but one of the interviews that I like the most and I want that my desire is to have is with you. So finally, I have the opportunity to talk with you. Thanks for the time again.
I appreciate that. Thank you for having me.
I heard that when Bob Arum put the eye in some fighter, is going to be a great fighter. You have everything. You are like a very humble guy, tough in the ring. That combination is great. So how can you describe yourself as a boxer?
I think I describe myself as a boxer as someone who's always learning. You know, I really feel like I'm not at the top of my game. I feel like I'm working really hard to get there. But there's still a lot of work that needs to be done. And I'm super appreciative for everyone that says I'm a great fighter and says I'm doing this. But then I'll see little tidbits of another fighter, and I'm like, I want to incorporate that in my career. Or I'll see something like one of my teammates throw a jab, and I love how they throw a jab, like Duke Reagan. I love how Duke throws a jab, and I'll try to kind of mimic some of their styles. And so I say that that my career is kind of like that, is always learning and trying to just progress.
I don't know you know this, maybe you know, but in Mexico, boxing is a religion. I'm from Mexico, by the way. So this being said, we don't have too many like heavyweights in Mexico. The last one, and maybe the one and only, it's Andy Ruiz Jr. But this being said, I don't know if you know how big your name is in Mexico. I'm not talking about the Mexican Americans now. I'm talking about Mexico. Do you realize how big your name is in Mexico?
I don't, honestly. And sometimes the only time I kind of get hints of my name being out there is when I'll be just like going to another town or another state, and people be like, "Oh, is that Richard Torres?" And it's really cool to understand that. But I can't wait to go to Mexico. The one thing that I'm trying to do is yo aprendiendo español, because my it's really bad right now, and I want to be able to go back, and I want to be able to go to Mexico and be able to speak with people. I want to be able to communicate and tell them about who I am, and not through a translator either. You know, so once I learned that, and I am working hard on it, I definitely will go and make myself known a little more.
Awesome. How do you define Mexican boxing?
Exciting. That would be one of the key words I define Mexican fighting as. I think that we have a tendency to come forward. We want to see the fight happen. We want to move our heads, and so it's impact. It's punch heavy. It's so many things that I love about the sport, and it's one of the main reasons I got on the sport. My favorite boxer is my dad. You know, and he has that true and true Mexican style of always coming forward, almost never taking a step back, and making the fight happen. You know, and I love that. And while not every fight for me is that way, I that's where my heart is. You know, I really wish I could fight like that every single time.
Regarding Bob Arum, which is a man that I'm close to, I respect him, I admire him. How's it feeling to work with the best promoter? I asked, let me share this with you. You're gonna love it. I asked Bob Arum like 2 years ago about, hey, Bob, again, the promoter of the year, and he told me like with this smile, no, I'm the promoter of the century. Don't get me wrong. And how's it feeling to work with this Hall of Famer?
I mean, I think those statements are true. You know, I do think he's a promoter of the century. I do think that he has just so much evidence of being that too. You know, from starting with Muhammad Ali and seeing that progress to every household name that you see here or today has been through Top Rank or gone through the ranks of Top Rank. I think it is just humbling to be on a card or to be in a promotional company like this. You know, every time people are like, every time I get to say I fought on ESPN, or every time I get to say I fight for Top Rank, it's amazing, you know. I can't believe it. People can't believe it either. Like, oh my gosh, you fight on Top Rank, you fight on ESPN. I'm like, yeah. And then it's so cool to say, and to be a part of a bigger company like this is incredible. And I just hope I'm doing them justice.
Definitely. When you live in California, especially in Tulare, you have something in your blood that is Mexican, part of Mexican, right? So Torres, you pronounce in English, but in Spanish you pronounce Torres. So I truly believe with your the way you are, charming but tough, always like smiling and kind. I truly believe that you're gonna have a great future with the fans. I mean, especially when you are like a beast in the ring, but humble out of the ring.
I appreciate that, and soy muy orgulloso de mi herencia mexicana. I mean, I really am. I take very much pride in being a Mexican-American fighter and having that Mexican blood instilled in me. And I just hope to make everybody proud. You know, at the end of the day, everybody that I know and everybody that's been a part of this journey has made sacrifices with me, you know. And so I'm not only fighting for myself anymore. I'm fighting for those people that were right there with me, missing the days. I used to talk about being in the gym alone and training, but I can't forget that my dad was there with me, you know, every single day and night, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, Christmas, when you name it, we were there in the gym, you know. So I can't just say that it was me making these sacrifices, everybody in my family and on my team. And I need to show that it was worth it. And so I'm thankful that some people are looking for the future and saying it might be.
Awesome. You're going to be part of one of the greatest events of the year, because Jose Carlos Ramirez is going to fight against Coming. St. Mark Center is one of the greatest venues in USA. I have been there so many times. I used to call the fights for Top Rank, by the way, in Univision, Solo Boxeo Tecate. And I remember, and I never forgot, how Jose Carlos Ramirez could bring so many people. So how's the feeling to be part of this great event? You're gonna be the guy who opened the broadcast, and how's the feeling?
So after I got accepted into the Olympics, and I still have it on my mantle today, Jose Ramirez, he signed a glove for me.
Oh my God!
And I keep it on my desk and always kind of look at it. You know, to be on a card with Jose Ramirez is just incredible. I was able to make my debut on a card like that too, and you're right. The amount of fans and appreciation that the Valley brings to Central Valley fighters is incredible. It's unmatched in my books, and I can't wait to fight there again. You know, I've been waiting and waiting for Jose Ramirez to come back to Fresno, because I knew I would be able to come back to Fresno, and this is incredible. I'm so thankful for it. And Jose Ramirez, I'm a huge fan of his. You know, I remember being 8 years old, and he walked into an amateur boxing show, and I looked at him. And I was like, and my dad was like, I just remember he had super white shoes, like super white shoes. And I was like, Pops, I was like, who's that guy again? And he went, that's Jose Ramirez, the Olympian. Oh my gosh. Like, and so
No Puedes Jugar Boxeo es presentado por The Aquino Destinations, Destinos de Ensueño.
From him being a Valley guy and making me believe that I could be an Olympian too, to doing what he did in pros, he's been knocking down doors for Central Valley fighters every day, and I'm super thankful for him. And I'm a major fan of his.
Awesome. You know, I'm gonna make a promise to you. I'm gonna write a very great article about you. So in order that the Mexicans in Mexico, that they don't know you, or of course the Mexican Americans know your story, and I promise to visit you sometime, because I know people from Tulare, from Avenal. I remember Chapulín Valdivia. Maybe you remember that 154-pounder is from Tulare, Chapulín Valdivia. Remember?
I've heard that name. It's been kind of a legend around the town, you know, in the boxing community.
Used to box down there. So regarding your fight, March 25, how can you describe this fight? Because you're looking for the 6-0.
Yes, yeah, no, I am. And so I would describe this fight as electrifying again. I think that I will go out and really show the hard work I've been doing. You know, I think that each and every time people kind of look at me and they're like, oh, he's a little too short, or oh, he's not this, he's not that. And every time I go out there, I do try to prove those people wrong. You know, I want to go out there and show my skill and just the hard work we've been doing. And I like a fight. You know, I like getting in there. I like throwing punches. I like throwing combinations. I'm not one of those guys that's going to sit back and just throw one punch around. You know, I'm going to be busy. I'm going to be impactful. I'm going to be exciting. And so you can see that in that fight as well.
Nice. Where's your medal, by the way?
I got my medal in my living room. I got the silver medal. Want me to get it?
Oh, yeah, please. It will be an honor. Please.
I'll be right back.
Thank you. Thank you. It would be a really great moment. He's going to bring his medal. Va a traer su medalla.
Yeah, I keep it in the box. So
oh, my
my Olympic silver medal. And then, yeah, it says the Tokyo.
Oh, yeah,
right here.
2020.
And the cool part is it has my weight class right here. It says the heavyweights.
My God.
So
I don't know if you open this box very often, but do you realize how big it is? Like Muhammad Ali, Sugar Ray Leonard. I mean, all these guys with Olympic medals. It's not easy to have it. I truly believe that it's more complicated to conquer a Olympic medal than to be a world champion.
I mean, it was definitely a difficult process, you know, and that was something I worked my entire life for. Yeah, I just sometimes it hits me, sometimes it doesn't. You know, it's like I will be training and I'll be working real hard with my dad, and all of a sudden we'll both stop and be like, dang, we're Olympians. And I always tell my dad we're Olympians because my dad sacrificed just as much as I did for me to get here. And so I'll look at my dad and be like, hey, Pops, we're Olympians, man. He's like, yeah, that's pretty cool, huh? I was like, it's incredible, you know? And so while you can't stop to smell the roses every single time you're out training, it's good sometimes too.
Beautiful. Two more things, because I know you have so many interviews. But first of all, I'm going to ask you this because I have been working, I believe, since forever. I used to fight for Mexico. Some other day, I will share with you that I used to be a martial arts fighter, and then I boxed. So that's why I fell in love with boxing. And God, because I truly believe that with God, you have everything. God is in my corner always, by the way.
Right.
And we create, maybe God created this phrase for me, no puedes jugar boxeo. It means you can't play boxing. I have been working and fighting because the people don't understand the sport. Maybe you can step in the ring, but you don't know if you're going to come down, you know? So your opinion about my phrase, my company, no puedes jugar boxeo, you can't play boxing.
I think that saying is true 100%, you know, because while boxing looks fun when it's done right,
yeah,
it's what's happened behind the scenes that made it look so fun. You know, it's the hard work and the dedication and sacrifice that everybody's made. You know, everybody wants to, everybody loves to see it, but to get in the ring and actually be there is a totally different story. You know, and I think that's why you see a lot of the fight fans that have been fighters, and a lot of people that have been in that ring take a different connotation to boxing. You know, we go in there, but we're still, every time we go and we watch a fight, we're a little anxious. If you see a really big knockout, you don't always jump up and say, yay, you know, because you're nervous for another fighter. You have that respect for somebody, you know, and I think that's the core thing about boxing is no puedes jugar boxeo. I think that's because we show a level of respect for the sport. You know, the amount of dedication, sacrifices. We don't want to see anybody get hurt. We don't want to see anything to happen like that. And we have so much love and respect for this sport that you can't play with it.
Definitely. Just to close, if this fight happens, Fury against Usyk, who's going to win in your opinion?
I think that Fury, his type of style is perfect for the heavyweight division. I think he has that little feint that he always throws, and he keeps people guessing, keeps people moving. But I think Usyk has a boxing style. I think Usyk is able to come in, move his head, get inside, and understand that. I think that this is going to be a war of game plans. And so I don't I feel like it'll be a lot easier to tell who's gonna win the fight after the first 3 rounds. I think that'll kind of show it off, because I don't think either of these fighters are gonna slow down. I think that they'll be able to take all 12 rounds in stride. You know, they've been there before. I think after we see each game plan, then we'll really know how the fight goes. But until then, I don't know either. You know, I'm just really I'm excited for the fight. I think that Usyk is a similar style to mine, and I'm excited to see what he can do against a big man like that. But I'm a Tyson Fury fan all the way too.
Okay, so let's do this. If Fury win the fight, I'm gonna buy you tacos. But if Usyk win the fight, you invite me some Mexican tacos.
I got you. Yeah, we got Vegars over here. I love it.
Finally, let me close with this. I'm a very crazy guy because I believe in God. It's very difficult to show to the world that God is first. But this being said, I truly believe that you are one of the most important fighters that are coming, you know, because now you are doing 5-0, 6-0, but I truly believe that we had this Muhammad Ali era. Now we have the white Muhammad Ali, which is Fury. But if you worked very hard, and this is from God, not for me, you're going to be one of the biggest stars in heavyweights, but you have to remember your people. That's a message, and I truly believe you can do, and you can be a superstar in boxing.
I appreciate that, and I will remember my people, because it is my people, and my environment is what shaped and molded me to be the person I am today, and my people are my environment. So thank you.
Thank you. Close in Spanish, please. You can do this. The closing in Spanish. You want to say something to La Raza?
I'm trying. Let me see.
You can say gracias amigos, something like that.
Gracias amigos por todo. I'm getting nervous now.
Okay, well, I'm gonna promise to you that I'm gonna improve my English, but the very next time that we can have the opportunity to talk, I believe.
I promise. Yeah, no, I'm working hard on this. I really am. But when you come back next time, I promise you I'll be able to do a lot more in Spanish.
It's a pleasure, and well, thanks for your time. One of my goals in boxing, it was you. Now that I have this interview, I understand how the people are talking so many good things about you. God bless you, and the best for this March 25.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Best to you too.
Thank you very much. Gracias, Gabriel. Cuídate. Bye bye. Take care. And remember, se puede jugar fútbol, béisbol, básquetbol, ping pong, canicas y hasta la Barbie, pero no puedes jugar boxeo.
Así es. Thank you. Gracias.
Bye. Thank you.
Si te gustó nuestro contenido, suscríbete a nuestro canal de YouTube. Y si no te gustó, también. No puedes jugar boxeo.